On January 23rd, at the direction of Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, Joint Task Force Southern Spear conducted a lethal kinetic strike on a vessel operated by designated terrorist organizations. Intelligence confirmed that the vessel was transiting along known narco-trafficking routes in the Eastern Pacific and was engaged in narco-trafficking operations. Now, 2 narco-terrorists have also been killed. However, one survived the strike. Following the engagement, the U.S. Southern Command immediately notified the U.S. Coast Guard to activate the search and rescue system for the survivor. So, Brian, this is the latest bit that is coming in from the Pacific, where they have tried to strike a vessel, and the U.S. says that it was a narco-trafficking operation that they have struck, and 2 people have been killed and 1, however, remains absconding, and now search and rescue operations by the U.S. Coast Guard are on.
Well, yes, as of now, on January 23rd, at the direction of the Secretary of the Department of War, Pete Hegseth, the Joint Task Force Southern Spear, executed a lethal kinetic strike against a vessel confirmed to be operated by designated terrorist organization. Now, in U.S. intelligence linked the vessel to known narcotics trafficking routes in the Eastern Pacific and confirmed its participation, rather active participation in narco-trafficking operations that directly fund terrorist networks. Not only that, the strike resulted in the deaths of 2 narco-terrorists. 1 individual survived the engagement. Immediately following the operation, UN Southern Command coordinated with the US Coast Guard to activate established search and rescue, that is the SAR procedures, to locate and recover the surviving individual in accordance with international humanitarian obligations. And even the Southern Command is now also committed to disrupting transnational criminal and also terrorist network that threaten regional security. Yes.
Brian, if I can request you to please stay on with us. We are tracking some more news. This time, U.S. President Donald Trump has yet again claimed that he ended 8 wars. He took to Truth Social to write, and I quote here, "I want to thank President Aliyev of Azerbaijan and Prime Minister Pashinyan of Armenia for upholding the peace agreement we signed late August. This was a nasty war, one of the 8 that I have ended. But now we have prosperity and peace. We will strengthen our strategic partnership with Azerbaijan, a beautiful agreement for peaceful nuclear cooperation with Armenia, and deals for our great semiconductor makers, and the sale of made in the U.S. defense equipment such as body armor and boats and more to Azerbaijan." So, Brian, we saw that these are the 2 countries which in fact were present in Davos, who were signing that board of peace that has been proposed by Trump, and now Trump has taken to social media to thank these the Prime Minister and the President of both these nations, and he stated that he stopped the war between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and he is in fact said that now he looks forward to a nuclear agreement with Armenia. He looks forward to selling off US made defense equipment to Azerbaijan. It's a lot on the table.
Yes, US President Donald Trump has announced that the peace agreement signed last August between Azerbaijan and Armenia continues to hold, thanking President Ilham Aliyev and Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan for honoring the deal. And he also described the conflict as a brutal and long-running war, calling it one of 8 major conflicts he claimed to have helped bring to an end. And this is again the credit-taking narrative that he has been pushing through. Not only that, he stated that the agreement has now ushered in a new era of stability, prosperity and opportunity for the South Caucasus region. And looking ahead, also Trump revealed that in February itself, Vice President J.D. Vance will also be traveling to both Azerbaijan and Armenia to reinforce diplomatic engagement and also expand what Trump called the Trump route for international peace and prosperity, which is an initiative aimed at deepening economic ties, integration, infrastructure connectivity and strategic cooperation. And under this proposed framework, also the US would strengthen in its strategic partnership with Azerbaijan, particularly in energy security, regional transit corridors and defense cooperation. Not only that, very importantly, Trump also highlighted plans for a beautiful agreement on a peaceful nuclear cooperation with Armenia, signaling potential US involvement in civilian nuclear energy development under international safeguard itself. Yes.